Hey guys, what's up? What's good? Welcome back to my channel. My weakness is my weapon. As you can see, we're gonna do a little chit chatting and drinking some coffee. I'm drinking black coffee right now. It's not what I really prefer right now, but I'm trying this new thing out. And I'm gonna see if it works out for me. So it's not that bad, but whatever. So, and this time, I wanna do a little chit chat. I wanna share with you guys another testimony, because if you saw my last video with, when I was talking about my youngest daughter and what her, her accident, what happened to her. If you haven't, go check it out. But if you have, this one is another video, and it's regarding her as well. I swear, I feel like God just teaches me lessons through her, and I swear, she's the youngest one. She's the one who, let me just put it she is all over the place. She's the one who's gonna give me gray hairs. Let's just put it like that. I have a few, but I like to camouflage them. When I used to have black hair, I used to literally, because I used to maybe 2 or 3, I used to take mascara and I used to just cover them. Anyways, let's get back to the video. So I hope you guys are comfortable. Get a drink, get your coffee, get your water, get whatever it is that you want to drink, and sit back and let's get into it. So I want to say this happened, all right, I want to say this happened maybe in 2018, I think. We were vacationing in Puerto Rico, and it was, my daughters, my husband, my mom was there, my brother and everything, and we were all in my grandparents' house. And where they live in a town called Villalba, and it is mountains. They live so high up on a mountain, and to get there, literally you're this in the car, just going up. But it's beautiful. The views are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we were having dinner that night that we were there, and the girls were playing outside, and we didn't really think anything of it because they were playing outside. My grandfather has a gate, and he always had it closed. This night he had it open for some reason, but we still didn't think anything of it. So we're eating dinner, and it was maybe a little while now that we weren't noticing the little one. Her name is Milena, and we were calling her out. I think she was 3 years old at this time. So 16, he was born in 16, 17, 18, 2.5, 3 years old. I really don't remember, sorry guys. But anyways, the point is that she was nowhere to be found, literally. And we were calling out her name. We looked in the cabinets, we looked in bathrooms, we looked behind the doors, we looked outside, we looked upstairs, to see if she was hiding up there, whatever. And when we would call out her name, she would not respond. And I think we were literally looking for her. I don't know if it was up 45 minutes that we were looking for her. But I started to panic, and I'm like, all right, so let's get serious now. All right, let's get real. So we started all looking for her. All my family came out, and we're like in the middle of the street calling out her name. You know, they live like up a hill. You know, I'm like slipping and sliding because I'm running all over the place. And literally when time kept going on, and time kept passing on, and I'm like, oh my God, like this is not happening. Like she would respond by now, you know, like we're literally screaming her name out. Like she would at least reacted or came out of whatever or responded or whatever. So my husband was so desperate, you know, he was like literally looking in the neighbors' houses because he kept hearing kids, and, you know, we were just scared. You know, he was literally like walking up in there and asking them if they seen a little girl, this and that. So when he tells me, he's like, call the cops. When he said that, like my heart dropped, because I knew that it was gonna get real. And literally my whole family, you know, there's other family that live, you know, next close to us. They all came out, and, you know, we all was looking for her, and she was really not responding whatsoever. I think this was like literally like the most scariest time of my life as a mom. Like I don't know where my child is. I'm going crazy. I have no idea what I'm going to find if I do find her. Like I started getting so many thoughts in my mind. Like my mind is crazy sometimes, and when my imagination kicks in, like it's just bad. It's just bad because I start thinking about so many things that probably I shouldn't even be thinking about. But literally in that moment, what else do I do? So even as crazy as this sounds, I started imagining her freaking lying in a ditch somewhere, you know, God knows with what happened to her, you know, she got hit by a car, if somebody took her or threw her out. Like these were thoughts literally in my mind. So when I called the cops, I was shaking so badly. I couldn't even speak properly. And like I'm like crying at this point, and I'm like, please, like we can't find her. We've been yelling out her name for like the past half hour, 45 minutes, and she's not listening, or she's not responding. Like we literally looked everywhere, and they kept telling me, well, is she hiding? Did you guys? I'm like, yes, we looked everywhere. So they were like, okay, so we're gonna make a report, and you guys are gonna have, like, I need you to tell me what she was wearing and what she looks like. And when I heard those words, like they wanted me to describe her in her clothes and her, that I couldn't, like, I'm like, oh my God, like, I don't know, I don't remember, like, you know, in that moment, like, your mind goes blank. You don't even know the last thing you just said 5 minutes ago, like, and you just keep repeating yourself over and over. And so I had to like think really hard and describe what she was wearing, what color clothes, her shoes, how old she was, maybe around her weight. Then they wanted to know where we lived, so they had to come. I know how to get there, but I don't know how to give them directions, because the streets over there are not like the streets in the US. Like, yeah, you're gonna make a left on Broadway, you're gonna make a right on Spring Street, and you're gonna keep going down Smith Street, and you're gonna take Avenue Place, and et cetera, et cetera. No, like there's nooks and crannies, I guess, to explain it really well. The streets are not even streets, they're called something else. The towns are called something else because they're all in sectors and everything. Like, it's just whatever. Like, it was confusing. So I had to give the phone to my grandmother so she can explain to the cops where exactly is that she lived. So at this time, she hung up the phone, and my heart is like wanting to come out my chest. It is wanting to come out my chest. And I'm like in tears, and I'm hyperventilating, and I'm like, my anxiety is on like level 1,000,000 and 1,000 trillion. And before the cops got there, we look to our left, like towards the door, and guess who we see? Yes, we see little Milena just standing there like this, like, what the heck is going on? Why is everybody going crazy? Why is everybody panicking? Why is everybody crying? And when I saw her, it was like this relief that I had that I've never felt it before. I can't even explain it, but it's a relief that something released out of my body. Something heavy just came out, and I was able to run to her, and I grabbed her, and then like I was able to hug her, and I'm like, but where were you? We were looking for you. And she's just like, and it's like, you know, hugging her and like, oh my God, like, I can't believe this, Milena, where were you? Where were you? So come to find out, she was hiding behind the front door this whole entire time. But meanwhile, mind you, we said that we looked everywhere, like behind doors, we looked everywhere. So I don't know if we were blinded by the panic. I don't know, but everybody swore they looked and they could not find her. And it's true, we could not find her. But you know what the thing is that during this process, when I'm like, if you saw me there, you would see me running up and down the hill, slipping and sliding up and down the hill. And I'm like calling out her name, and I'm praying in my mind, and I'm like, God, like, what are you doing? What is this? Like, where is she? And I swear that I can feel God telling me, I'm like, this is a learning lesson that you know, I'm trying to teach you something. And when hearing that, I was able to feel like at least some sort of peace, but I was still panicking because I wasn't seeing my daughter. I couldn't find her. And I didn't know what this lesson was gonna be until after the fact, you know, when we all like found her and we laughed about it. The cops came and we had to explain what happened. And you know, they left, and we just sat on this wall that they have, and we, you know, just laughing about it and stuff like that. And it was then that I was able to understand that God was teaching me and showing me that this is what happens. This is how he feels when he loses somebody. When somebody decides to leave, you know, depart from him, and he feels sad, he's saddened so much, but that when a person comes back to him, like the prodigal son, you know, how he explains it, that when the son left his father's house, because he thought he was, you know, big and bad, and he wanted his money, and he wanted to experience the world and everything like that. But when he was broke, and when he was hungry, and when he you know, was missing out what he had in his father's house, because in his father's house he was not lacking anything, that's when he started regretting all his decisions that he made. So when he came back to his father's house, his father welcomed him with opened arms. You know, he was so excited, he was happy. You know, it says, and if you want to find and read the story out and, you know, look over the story, it's found in Luke 15, you know, in verse 20, it says, so when he returned home to his father, and while he was still a long way off, he saw him coming, filled with love and compassion, and he ran to his son, embraced him, and kissed him. And, you know, and this is something that, you know, I literally did that when I saw her. I'm like, it was just a sense of relief that she was back in my arms, that she was back in my possession, in my, you know, in my space, that I knew that nothing happened to her, that she was safe. And you know, God the Father, he wants you guys, you know, if you have departed from him, he wants you to come home. He wants you to come back. You know, he's out here, you know, waiting with open arms for him to embrace you. You know, he literally wants you to come home. And if you don't get anything from this message, literally, it's just come home. You know, you're a person. If you're reading this, or sorry, if you're seeing this video, you're a person who has been called with a purpose, who has who God has plans and future plans and ministry for you. Whether if you're a believer or whether if you're not a believer, you have a plan and you have a purpose for your life that God has for you, and he just wants you to come home. Basically, he wants you to return to his house where you have everything that and you will not lack anything. He's literally waiting for you with open arms. Sometimes we leave, and people leave the church, or they leave the God's side because maybe of pain, of hurt, of wounds, old wounds that sometimes resurface. Sometimes, and it's so sad to say this, but sometimes the church, the people in church, they will hurt you until the point where you can't really take it anymore, and you make a wrong decision and leave, instead of sticking it out, or praying about it and fighting these battles, because the word says that we're not fighting against flesh and bones, but we're fighting against unseen principalities in the unseen world. So basically, we are fighting these evil spirits that are putting these thoughts in our minds and making us, think that it's our neighbor, or or the person that wounded us and stuff like that. Sometimes because of maybe old school ways. I don't know, maybe you didn't like the way they treated you, maybe you don't like the way they spoke to you, in the past, whatever it is. Sometimes people do that, but things change, times change, generations move on, and maybe perhaps you are in the older generation and you left church years and years ago when you were younger, and you have decided that you will never go back because of what they told you when you were a child or when you were a teenager. But I'm here to tell you that the Lord is waiting for you. He's waiting for you with open arms. He wants you to feel his love and mercies and grace, and he wants to share everything with you. If you feel like you can't forgive, he will heal your heart. He will heal your mind. He will renew you. He will transform you. All he wants you to do is come back home. Come back home. Come with your baggage, because it is him who's going to deal with it. All you have to do is take the step and willingly come forward and be like, God, I surrender. God, I'm home. I need you. I need you at this very time. So in this moment, he's waiting for your return. The same way that I was able to feel when I embraced my daughter, like I said, I was able to understand that is exactly how the Lord feels. And I have never felt like that before at all. Like I've never lost her before or lost anybody before. But when I'm telling you, like, I can't even explain, like I can go on and ramble on, but I cannot explain to you the feeling that I had. And I was able to understand that God feels exactly the same way when one of his childs come home, when they just surrender to him and doing that, and they move forward, and he just gives them blessings in abundance and stuff like that. So at this time, take this into consideration. And I hope you take this into consideration, actually, and I just hope that this is not just another video that you see or halfway, the beginning. I hope you reach until the end. He's waiting for you. Come home. Come home, because he is waiting for your return with open arms. So God bless you guys. And I will see you guys in the near future. And I hope you guys have a great week. Bye. Oh, and remember to like, subscribe, and share this video all over the place, and see, you know, help me get the word out. All right. So thank you guys so much. I love you guys. Bye.